Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
After your Texas Rangers swept the Seattle Mariners out of Globe Life Park, it's time to forget it. Yes, the Rangers have swept the first 6 games against the Astros this year, but it's time to take that out of your mind. The next installment of the Lone Star Series gets underway tonight, and both the Rangers and Astros roll into the series red hot. It is good to know that Colby Lewis starts this series, pitching at perhaps the best level of his career. It's baseball time in Texas as your Rangers and the Houston Astros get underway, and it's next on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is presented by high-speed internet from AT&T. Globe Life Park is seen tonight for the first of 4. The Astros in town, Silver Boot on the line once again as we welcome you indoors tonight for the opener of this 4-game series. Great to be with you. I'm Dave Raymond with Tom Grieve, and it's always fun when these two get together, especially for the fans, I think for Rangers fans in particular. But one guy who is off to maybe the best start in his career has also really enjoyed it, Tag, and that's Colby Lewis.
Colby Lewis has definitely enjoyed the start to this season. He's 5-0 with an ERA just a little bit above 3. He's also enjoyed pitching against the Astros. The last 11 times he's pitched against the Astros, he's gone 9-0. with just about a 10-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. They've hit just a little bit over 200. He already has one start against the Astros this year back on May 20th. That was 7 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball without a walk. So Colby's on a good roll overall. He's pitched very well against the Astros. The Astros are playing great baseball. So are the Rangers. Steps up to be a really nice series.
The two hottest teams in the American League going head-to-head for the first of 4 here tonight. Stay with us. Starting lineups. First pitch. It's coming up next. to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal we're talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. By Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Just about set to go tonight. Rangers, Astros. Let's check in for the first time with Emily Jones.
Dave, thank you very much. You and Tom talked about it off the top. Colby Lewis in the start. He's off to 5-0, looking to go 6-0 for the first time as a Ranger since Alexi Agondo did it. And at this point, his manager says nothing Colby does surprises him.
Nothing really surprises you from Colby, but he's a consummate pro. He's a veteran pitcher. He's as good. Any pitcher that wants to pitch can learn from what Colby does every single night. He goes out, he attacks the strike zone, he reads the bat, he uses the slider when he needs to, mixes in a changeup, but he works the ball east and west and up and down. So he doesn't try to strike a lot of guys out. He's just what he does. He tries really just attack the zone and get hitters in swing mode, and then his job is to find a way to get them out.
Just seems to be getting better, stronger, and smarter with age, does Colby Lewis, as we send it back up to you, Dave and Tom. And Dave, welcome to your first game at Globe Life Park. You know, this team is riding a 9-series win streak here. So if things don't go well this week, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Emily.
No pressure. No pressure. I'm just saying.
All right, well, thank you, Emily. Let's take a look at the Astros lineup, 28-30 coming in. And George Springer's been outstanding at that leadoff spot at right field. Jose Altuve outstanding wherever they put him at second base. Carlos Correa, Colby Rasmus, Evan Gattis in the heart of the order. Valbuena, Gomez, Marwin Gonzalez, and then the catcher Jason Castro to round things out for the Astros. 7 games back of your Rangers in the AL West. Underway. Colby Lewis getting a strike on that first pitch, as he has been so adept at doing. We saw that in Cleveland. He got a first pitch strike to about 70%, 80% of the hitters he faced that night.
Yeah, we'll take a look at what Colby's done this season. Obviously, he's undefeated, a nice ERA. He's pitching on 5 days rest, just like Derek Holland did. With the extra day starting at the beginning of 2015, he's 12-3. This year, he's had 3 starts with 5 days rest. He's 3-0 with an 0.90 ERA.
This one lofted out to right center, and Desmond is there for the first out of the ball game. Check in on the Rangers defense tonight, delivered to you by Chicken Express. And boy, Ian Desmond has done a great job holding things down in center field, with Rua in left and Nomar Mazara in right surrounding him on the infield. Beltre and Andrus, as always, on the left side. Profar at second base today. Prince Fielder getting the start at first. And Bobby Wilson forming the other half of the battery with Colby Lewis. In fact, this is the 6th time this year that those two have been paired up. Colby pitching to a 3.55 ERA with Wilson as his catcher. Altuve on the second pitch he sees, delivers the first hit of the night for the Astros. Boy, 5th in the American League with that 330 average, and when they moved him out of the leadoff spot, there was some concern. He had been doing so well in that spot. Well, he hasn't skipped a beat since, hitting 320.
Yeah, Altuve is one of those hitters. You could put him anywhere in the lineup and he'll be a fill that role superbly, no matter what the number is. He could hit 4th if he wanted him to. Last year he more than doubled his home run output, so he could produce enough in the middle of the lineup if you wanted to bat him there.
And he has surprising pop for a guy 5'6". He's on, and he has great speed as well, leading the American League in stolen bases to this point of the year. And it's 2-0 to Carlos Correa. Last year's American League Rookie of the Year, a fantastic shortstop.
who put up great numbers last year as well at the plate, but has slowed down a little bit here in his second season. Talked about that a lot last week when we were in Cleveland and saw Francisco Lindor. The fact is, Lindor has continued to hit in his second year, but it's been a year of some adjustments for Correa. 2-2. This year the average at 267 for the Astros shortstop, and he is in the top 10 in the league in strikeouts. He's struck out 64 times. Altuve running, the throw to second, not in time.
Well, Altuve is obviously a very good base stealer. He's first in the American League. That's his 17th stolen base. He's also very efficient. He's only been thrown out one time. He gets a big lead. He's so quick, he reaches full speed after it looks like one step, and he's fast. Very difficult to throw him out.
Full count now on Correa. And he'll get another one. Correa was the surprise first pick of the draft in 2012, and then matriculated very quickly through the Astros system, and some were even a little surprised that he was rushed to the big leagues by 2015. Out of Puerto Rico. He is not disappointed. He strikes out swinging, and they're two gone in the first inning.
Yeah, what a good pitch by Colby. As a hitter, when you face Colby, just because it's 3-2, you know that he could throw you a slider at any moment. And it almost looked like Correa, in the back of his mind, wondered about the slider. And then he made a perfect pitch with his fastball right on the outside corner, right at the bottom of the strike zone, and snuck it right by Correa for a big strikeout.
Now 2 out now. That brings in Colby Rasmus. Rasmus struggling with the average at 224.
And the Astros were, when we played the Astros earlier in the season, Rasmus was hot. And his on base percentage was up there because he was walking a lot. And it really looked like, you know, after 50 or 75 at bats, like he was making a quantum leap forward as a hitter this year. He's fallen back a little bit, but he still takes a walk and he's got power.
Now, I was surprised to go back and look at his numbers last year to find that he hit 238 last season, because he was such a big part of that Astros offense last year and their run into the postseason.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to be an on-base percentage guy, but he's got power.
This one blooped right to Beltran.
That's not an example of his power right there, but we'll take it.
Well, a one-out single mixed in by the Astros, but nothing doing, and Jurickson Profar to lead things off at the bottom of the first. Bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Rangers lineup tonight, presented to you by Southwest Airlines. Rangers at 34-22. Best record in the American League. Jurickson Profar has been dynamic in that leadoff spot. Ian Desmond bats second in center field. Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, Rougned Odor in the 3 through 5 spots. Prince Fielder back in there, but at first base, Ryan Rua at left, Andrews, and then Bobby Wilson catching and batting ninth for the Rangers. Well, Profar has been a delight since joining the big club and working on a 9-game hitting streak as a part of that .390 average. One of the many things he's done well is get on in the first inning, and he does it again. This one lashed into right field. Profar hustling through second, and he will go for third. The throw doesn't get him.
Yeah, that was a close one, and with nobody out, you'd want to make sure you can get to third. Fortunately, the throw from right field was kind of a high throw that missed the cutoff man, but still a very close play at third, and he just jumps on the first high fastball that he sees and does what he's done for 10 days. Rip balls all over the field. This ball's going to go down in the corner. Springer's going to get to it. His throw is a little bit high, but the relay throw is close. Fortunately, it was a short hop to third base, and Valbuena's tag is about a split second late.
Well, some daring on the bases by Profar to start things in the bottom of the first. That is one of the things the Rangers have capitalized on, particularly of late. We saw it yesterday in the finale against the Mariners. 1-0 to Desmond. And it's way in 2-0. Yesterday it was Elvis Andrus in the 5th inning, deking Romero, the left fielder, into a poor throw back into the infield, and stole a run to tie the game. Mike fires. This is his first career start at Globe Life Park. It's 2-1 now on Desmond. We'll take a look at what Fires has done.
Number for Fires, his ERA is a little high. He had one bad start against the Angels, which elevated his ERA a little bit. He's got very good control. Second in the American League with only 1.6 walks per 9 innings. Coming into this season, over the last couple of years, he was a guy that struck out about a batter per inning. His strikeouts are down a little bit this year, 45 and 61 innings. Not a hard thrower, but a guy who's pitched a no-hitter before in his life and can be very difficult depending on when it is that you see him.
2-2 on Desmond.
The kind of straight over the top delivery is a little bit of a problem for hitters trying to pick the ball up. Sometimes it makes that high fastball at 89 look like it's more like 93 or 94, judging by the way the hitter swings at it.
Two-two, bounced right side, and a little trouble by Gonzalez. Couldn't get it out of his glove. Profar scores, and the Rangers take the early lead.
Well, the Rangers get a little bit of break there. Profar is barely safe at third base, and then it looked like on that play that there was going to be time to catch the ball and throw it home. First baseman's playing over. He gets the ball. He can throw on the run right there, but he can't get the ball out of his first baseman's mitt. No one covers first. The run scores, and Desmond's safe at first. What could have been an out at the plate, man on first, nobody scoring, and one out turns into a man scores, a man's on first, and still nobody out. It's going to go as a base hit.
And better yet,
that's clean living right there.
The Fires assumed that there was going to be the play at the plate. I think everybody assumed that was going to be the case.
Yeah.
But shouldn't he have been racing over to first regardless?
Oh, absolutely. because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, his job when the ball's hit on the ground to the right side is to get to first base, and he made the assumption what you said, that there wasn't going to be a need to do that. But Gonzalez couldn't get the ball out of his glove.
Yeah, he just stopped.
Yeah, he ducks because he's right in line with the throw, which never came.
1-0 to Mazzara. Very high.
You know, Gonzalez has played a lot of different positions. Not sure how much he's played at first base, but obviously the first baseman's mitt is a lot bigger than an infielder's glove. And on that particular play, as he reached into that bigger glove to try to get the ball, he couldn't find a grip and couldn't make the throw. He's got his infielder's glove on. It's probably much different.
Get a look at the claw. He came up as a shortstop and then played a little second base.
So he's used to a small glove.
Yeah.
No, he's played first base, so it's not like he's never been over there before, but not like a guy that's played there his whole career.
2-1 to Nomar, and that one bounced through the right side, base hit. Desmond with a good jump. He'll end up at third. Pretty good start to this one tonight for the Rangers.
Jurickson ripped his ball. We talked about Ian's infield hit. And Nomar hits a tailing fastball away toward the end of the bat, but with the first baseman holding the runner, the ball goes right into right field, and it was hit slowly enough that Springer couldn't get to it in time to make any kind of a throw, so it's first and third, and still only nobody out.
Continue to build this big inning, and now Adrian Beltre, who was hitless yesterday, and takes a strike from Mike Fiers. A triple, an infield hit, and then the Mazzara single to right field. Fiers just trying to find a groove and buries that one. 1-1. Well, it has been a house of horrors for the Astros here in Globe Life. And they have not particularly enjoyed playing the Rangers in general the last couple of years, but this ballpark in particular, they have dropped, what is it, 10 straight now. Corners and a 1-1 to Beltre. It's fouled off. Take a look at the defense for the Astros. Colby Rasmus at left field, Carlos Gomez back with the club and at center field, and George Springer out at right. Valbuena and Correa left side of the infield, Altuve and Marwin Gonzalez on the right, and Jason Castro doing the catching tonight. It's been a tough go for him lately. Fell ill with the flu. It's just his second game since coming back as Beltre waves at a pitch of the dirt for strike three. 1 out. Bring up Odor.
Very unusual bat for Adrian with men in scoring position. He's hit .390 this year with men in scoring position, and he continues to be one of the toughest guys in the league to strike out. Fiers got him to swing at the breaking ball down and out of the strike zone. Big strikeout for Fiers, and an unusual strikeout for Adrian. He doesn't strike out very much, and very seldom has not done something to knock in a run when he's given the opportunity.
Desmond still at third, Mazzara at first, as Odor steps in. He has hit in both games since coming back from that 7-game suspension. And heads look pretty good, moving down a little bit in the order. With the new look to this batting order with Profar in that leadoff spot, freeing up Odor to hit somewhere closer to the middle of the order, has really changed the dynamics.
Well, you've got Profar stepping in, getting 2 hits a game, getting on base for sure. And then you've got Mazzara moving up to the 3rd spot in the lineup with a very hot Desmond, and it just really sets up the middle of the lineup for a lot of opportunity.
Since Profar has taken over that leadoff spot, team averaging right about an additional run per game, which is a huge jump.
Especially when you're winning a lot of 1-run games like the Rangers have been winning.
1 run already across. Profar opened the 1st inning with a triple. And came in on an infield hit by Ian Desmond.
Rangers have won 10 games this year by 1 run. In fact, in 1-run games, the Rangers are 10-4. Highest percentage in the American League in 1-run games. So you're right, Dave. If you increase your output by 1 run a game, that means a lot of difference in wins and losses.
1-1 from Fiers. That's a ball and 2 strikes. You can see a little bit of a shift against Rougned Odor. Not a huge one. Taking a look at some of the numbers. 289 against the shift. When played straight up, it has not fared quite as well.
Yes, I guess for teams paying attention to the metrics, you've gone away from that drastic shift for sure. I would call this more of a shading than a shift.
Walks this one out of play. Count stays 1-2. I guess the other thing too, when you look at those numbers against the shift versus his numbers when the team's playing straight up, a lot of times that's more a situational issue than anything else. I mean, they might be playing him straight up with runners on base. It might shift on him more dramatically with the bases empty, those types of things, and you get pitched differently in those spots.
Yeah, all those are factors.
That one bounces to the backstop. And an easy score for Desmond. As he walked into the plate, I began to wonder if that one may...
I was waiting for someone to call it back.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Well, there was a sound to it, too. A crack almost, as if it bounced off a shin guard or something like that for Odor, or maybe, for that matter, Castro.
It was a breaking ball that broke straight down. Let's see what it hit to bounce that high. It just hit the ground and maybe off the heel of the glove, bounced straight up in the air and into the stands.
Oh, wild pitch will add to the tally for the Rangers, leading 2-0 in this 1st inning.
Get them any way you can.
And another free 90 for Nomar Mazzara. He's now at 2nd base. Oh, after it hit the turf, looked like it clipped Castro's right shin guard right off the knee.
Yeah, fortunately, it didn't hit Odor.
You can listen again.
That's exactly what it was. That loud noise was his shin guard being hit by the ball. If the ball hits Odor, then it's no runs in, bases loaded. I like the run in. Man moved to 2nd. Still a man in scoring position, and Odor gets a chance to knock him in.
Nomar Mazzara out there in scoring position. Boy, Fiers has really slowed it down in this 1st inning. And he and Castro will talk things over. The free 90s tag. Mazzara gets 2nd base. There's one free 90, as Jeff Bannister likes to call it. Desmond scoring, that's a free 90, so there's 2 links on the base paths. And I don't know if you could make the argument that Profar took an extra 90 on that triple. I mean, I think that's a routine double.
But Desmond took an extra 90 on that
did?
ground ball to first. Or the guy going home took an extra 90. That was Profar. But someone's got to be out on that play.
Slow roller right side of the diamond, and Altuve will go at the first, but Gonzalez couldn't find the base. Oh my!
I think what you're seeing right now is how an inexperienced first baseman can be exposed a little bit. You know, you may be able to take anyone you want and play him at first base in Little League, but not in the big leagues. That's a very skilled position, and you kind of take it for granted. Gonzalez didn't recognize that that was an easy play for Altuve. He went for the ball. Then he comes back and gets right in the way of Fires, who would have been there to cover the base. I guess the Astros are going to look at this at first base. I don't think he's on the bag.
You know, there's nothing in that replay that.
I think the giveaway is how he's still banging his foot around trying to find the bag.
That guy right there, A.J. Hinch, in his second year as a manager for the Astros, he said prior to this series that his goal is to simply win a game here before he is done as a manager, meaning Globe Life Park. Because
that's a good-natured way of saying it, I guess.
Take another look.
The ball is there, but his foot's not on the bag. And it's pretty obvious right now. After this, he lifts his foot up and tries to find the bag. It was never on the bag. Otherwise, he would have just left it there. That's a very simple play for the replay guys. That might be one of the shortest replays we've seen.
And Hinch going to trot out there now and have a word with Fires.
Yeah, it's another play that I think under a more experienced first baseman probably wouldn't have taken the 2 steps to go after that ball. He would have gotten back to first base easily. Or once he did make the move for the ball, he would have gotten out of the way and let the pitcher cover the bag. In any event, the Rangers still only have 1 out. Now they have a man on third base and first base.
Well, our replay challenge presented by Ford, and the call was confirmed.
Someone got an error on that. I guess it's the first baseman.
Yeah, I would think that would have to go to Gonzalez.
Gonzalez didn't get an error on the ball that Ian hit to him. No one covered first, and he couldn't get the ball out of his glove to throw home. But even though it's not an error in the scorebook, it's a play that someone should have made an out on.
Little dribbler off the bat of Prince Fielder, but it goes foul.
Now that would have been the coup de grace for this inning if that ball stayed fair. That.
Taking a look at the Ford leaderboard here, you look at the defensive shifts, and the Astros, I like your terminology, shading, because sometimes they aren't so much a shift, but they are as aggressive as anybody. Whereas you see the Rangers down there at the bottom. They're in the bottom third in baseball. Mazzara at third, Odor at first. That was a well-struck ball, but foul, and 0-2 to Fielder. Well, this is the story of the week. Prince Fielder back in the lineup today after being unplugged for the last couple of days. The first time he had missed consecutive games while active since back in 2007 with the Milwaukee Brewers. So that was a rarity for Prince. And they're going from first, but Odor is going to have to return. Also notable today, Tom, we were out here early this afternoon, and the Rangers were working out Jurickson Profar at first base, get a little defensive work in.
That was interesting. I think what the Rangers are thinking is Jurickson's playing so well that he's earned the right to be in the big leagues. At the same time, they don't want him to be in the big leagues if he's not going to get significant playing time. You can't take him out of the lineup right now, but even if he did cool off, they still want him to play. And if he's going to play maybe not on a regular basis the whole year. He's got to play a lot, and that would be one more way to get into games by being able to play first base. Obviously, he can play shortstop, second base, and probably third base, and DH. There's a lot of ways to get in the game. First base would just give Jeff Bannister one more way to get him playing time.
1-2 to Fielder, and that one bounced through for a base hit. Mazzara will score. Heading to third is Odor, and he's in there. RBI single for Fielder. 3-0 Rangers.
You know, part of a slump is not being able to find a hole. You're not maybe swinging the bat as well as you're capable of, but when you do, generally there's someone there to catch it. So this is a good sign. Make some contact with 2 strikes and a man on third base, and then wait and see if you get a little bit lucky and find a hole. So the skill part is making contact with a man on third base and less than 2 outs. Then you're at the mercy of where the infielders are, and they were nowhere near that ground ball. It goes into the outfield. Another first and third situation and another run in.
So they're cornered in this first inning, and Ryan Rua flares one to second, and Altuve is right there. So 2 gone. Here's Elvis Andrews.
Elvis has been swinging the bat well, really well as a matter of fact, and he's been good all season long with men in scoring position.
You see Davinsky already loosening in that Astros bullpen. So
yeah, it's not an inning where Fiers has been knocked around by any stretch of the imagination. The hardest hit ball was the one that Profar hit right off the bat. Since then, it's just been, he's been a victim of circumstances. A couple of plays that weren't made in the infield.
And this one blooped up behind second, and Altuve with a diving catch out there to win the. A lot of bad luck in the inning.
Not many
for
second
Fiers.
basemen make that play.
Man, you take the bad luck and sometimes you take the good, and Fiers gets a break right there as Altuve bails him out. Rangers jump out 3-0. Lead. Colby Lewis fires one to Gaddis off the plate for ball 1. Gaddis, Valbuena, and then Carlos Gomez in this second inning for the Astros. It's 2-0. Well, Evan Gaddis went down to the Double-A club for the Astros to refresh himself on catching, and boy, he came back not just a catcher, but the bat has come with him. He has been on a tear since rejoining the club. It's 2-1 to the big slugger. He's homered in 3 consecutive games. And he has reached basically in 16 of 18 since returning from Double-A. El Oso Blanco is his nickname, the White Bear. Count stays 2-2. He came up with the Atlanta Braves, somewhat of a sensation, came out of nowhere. It showed light tower power and turned a lot of heads, then joined the Astros and put up good numbers with them last year as well. Full count now on Gaddis.
Well, early in the year last year, he was off to a really slow start. We didn't get a chance to see him with Atlanta. And the first thing you thought early in the season was he's having a hard time getting around on a fastball, but nothing could be further from the truth as the season went on.
I'll take the walk, and that is how we begin play in the 2nd inning. Perfect time to check in with Jim Knox. Where are you, Jim?
Oh, I appreciate it, Dave. Hey, great crowd here at Globe Life Park. Look at little Samuel, 5-month-old Samuel enjoying the game. And the Waxahachie, some of the police officers in town this evening. That's right, enjoying the Rangers. You guys having a good time, right?
Yes, sir, we're having a good time.
All right, hey, if I ever come through the town, maybe a mile an hour over the speed limit, what do you say, huh?
Everybody knows Knoxie. We'll take care of you, buddy.
Hey, all right, hot dogs on me, guys. All right, appreciate it. There we go. Dave.
Good job, Knoxie. I like how he's already negotiating his speeding ticket in advance. Luis Valbuena, 226 average with a man at first. And smashes this one through into right field, a base hit. Gaddis with an aggressive turn at second. He'll head for third in the throw-off line.
Generally, Nomar is right on line, and if he was, I think he would have thrown Gaddis out at third base. But aggressive base running by Gaddis. On a hard hit ball, taking the extra base. Lead-off walk. The Astros lead the American League in walks. They've walked 220 times. They also lead the league in strikeouts. They've struck out 571 times.
Yeah, a bit of a philosophy, kind of an all or nothing philosophy with the Astros. They're definitely one of those extreme examples of a front office and a franchise that wants to play the numbers.
Yeah, you'd like to see him make a little more contact, but the walks are a definite asset to their offense. They've got a solid offensive team, and walks lead to on-base percentage, which lead to RBI opportunities.
Speaking of strikeouts, Gomez has always had that reputation. In a hole here, 0-2. He is a free swinger. Don't expect a 2-strike approach all of a sudden here from Carlos Gomez. Slotted in at 7th in the order tonight.
Good try. Throw it out of the strike zone. Swung at a couple of sliders. See if you can get him to really chase one. I've just been made aware of a very interesting fact by our research department down in the truck, which is a valuable asset to us. That was a valuable strikeout to Kobe Lewis. Kobe Lewis has the 2nd lowest average velocity of a fastball in the American League. Yet when the opponents put his fastball in play, it's the 2nd lowest average when he throws his fastball. 2nd lowest velocity average and the 2nd lowest average when he throws his fastball, which would be something that definitely disproves people that believe the harder you throw, the more people you get out. Kobe's case has nothing to do with it. The way his other pitches set up that fastball has a lot to do with that low average against on his fastball.
Strike one to Marwin Gonzalez. So also that second number. That's like the exit velocity is also second lowest.
No,
Is that
batting
right?
average.
Oh, the batting average. I got you.
Batting average against his fastball is the second lowest against fastballs in the league, even though it's the second lowest velocity in the league.
Interesting.
I think generally you would say, okay, the second lowest batting average in the league against fastballs, you would say it occurs against a guy that throws 97 miles an hour. That's the normal assumption. In this particular case, you'd be wrong.
Well, this and many others.
Yeah, we'd all be wrong. But that's why the new metrics can be very interesting when you learn something like that.
2-1 now to Marwin Gonzalez, who is in the lineup batting 8th, playing first base. And he had a tough go of it down there at first base in the first inning. Batting .220 for the year. And rolls one right to second. Profar to Andrew Schwab on the first double play. And it ends the inning. Nobody does it more often than the Texas Rangers, and that twin killing a big boost for Colby Lewis. After 1.5, 3-0 Rangers. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Well, shopping indoors for some souvenirs is Bobby Wilson shopping for fastballs here from Mike Fiers. Wilson batting 9th, but leading off this second inning. He's 0 for his last 10, pops this one up. Just wide of the foul line at first, and Gonzalez handles it for out number 1.
Dave, following up on that statistic on Kobe's batting average against his fastball being the second lowest in baseball, even though his velocity is the second lowest. Some people might have said, well, if he's the second lowest, who's got the lowest batting average against fastballs? That would be Drew Pomerantz. But some other players, pitchers you would expect to see that are in the equation: Jake Arrieta, Steven Strasburg, Chris Sale.
Okay.
All of those guys have very low batting averages against their fastball. But all three of those guys have a higher batting average against their fastball than Colby Lewis.
Interesting. All hard throwers.
All hard throwers.
Profar bounces this one right up the middle to Correa. 2 away.
So if you just isolate the fastball, it doesn't really tell the story. The other things that tell the story are the deception in the delivery. How tough is the guy to pick up? the quality of his other pitches that may make the fastball look harder. And in Colby's case, he'll throw a slow curveball and a lot of sliders. So in the back of the hitter's mind, he knows that, which might make his fastball a little bit sneaky. And then obviously the location of his pitches plays into it too.
Desmond blasts one into left field, base hit. 2-out single for Desmond. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
Right fielder, Nomar Mazara.
Rangers got 3 in the first. And now Nomar Mazara, who went out and got a ball in his at bat in the first inning and then just hooked it back around into right field. That one hitting. I got a piece of him, and Mazara will head down to first. Nomar didn't look like he was in a real hurry to get out of the way of that one, but
probably hoping he didn't see it so he'd get the hit. Desmond, after about 40 or 45 at bats, bounced up and hit his knee, was hitting a little bit over 100. Now in about 175 or 180 at bats, he's hitting over 360. And over his last 13 or 14 games, he's hitting well over 400.
Beltre now, and he'll bounce it down to Valbuena at third base. His foot race to third. Good enough to beat Desmond and in the inning. No runs, a hit. Rangers leave a pair. We've played 2. 3-0 Rangers.
Taking off for Houston, answer number 15, Jason Astros.
Three nothing good, guys. Hat giveaway today. So if you came with your own, it's okay.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Leave with 2.
Pretty good look.
Jason Castro leading things off for the Astros. 208 batting average this year. And 9th in the order for an Astros team, by the way. Boy, you look at their notes and they're pretty pumped up. Astros with the 2nd best winning percentage since May 1st as a bouncer by Castro, good enough to get him on base out there to short right field. Of course, the best record belongs to the Texas Rangers. All right, 3-0 Rangers leading. Lead man on for the Astros. Let's check in again. Emily Jones.
Dave, big news as tomorrow is $10 Tuesday. You can get tickets for $10 and the first 15,000 fans 14 and older coming through the doors tomorrow get one of these beauties. A Powerade reusable tote bag. Again, that is $10 tickets tomorrow on Tuesday. You can visit texasrangers.com/specials for more information. I always dreamed of being like a Barker's Beauty on The Price is Right. I figure this is probably as close as I'm going to come. So, guys, there it is.
Very nice.
Well done, too. Yeah. Well, the price is certainly right. $10 tickets on Tuesday. You get that reusable bag. So I think you're onto something. George Springer flat out of the first, 0 for 1 tonight. Big change for this Astros team has been the change at the top of the order. Little comebacker. Lewis's throw bounces away. Everybody safe.
It wasn't going to be a double play with Springer running, but it was a simple play at second base. Kobe might have stepped a little bit towards second base and just kind of yanked the ball down low. It's a great pitch. Jammed him. Kobe's left foot, when he went to throw to second, he hit the side of the pitcher's mound on the incline and caused his throw to go down and away. Nice try by Elvis, but that was a tough play to pick.
So the error puts the first 2 men on for the Astros in this third inning. It's 1-0 to Altuve.
That was a great pitch against Springer. He ran the fastball way in on his fist, jammed him, and got what looked like a simple out. And now it's first and second. Rangers got a break in the first inning. See if they can keep the Astros from capitalizing on that break.
Altuve hammers one deep right field. Mazzara going back, and that one is gone. Jose Altuve has just tied this game with his 10th home run of the year.
Well, Altuve is a great player, and last year power entered into the equation for him. He'd always been a guy that could hit a lot of doubles and 6 or 7 home runs. Last year he hit 15 home runs. This year, a third of the way through the year, he already has 10. Looks like he's going to hit 25 home runs. And when you see him launch one to right field like that, that's a pretty good indication that his power is a little bit different right now than it was his first couple of years in the big leagues. And right off the bat, the Astros make the Rangers pay for their miscue.
A new game and 1 strike pitch to Carlos Correa. It's 1-1. Correa struck out in the first inning. Working on an 8-game hitting streak. It's boosted the average up to 267 for the year. Takes a breaking ball, rolls it right to Andrus at shortstop, and that is the first out of the inning. Time to check in with John Radigan, our Chevy game break.
Outfielder Colby Rasmus.
All right, thanks, John. Tie game here as Colby Rasmus steps in 0 for 1. And he hits one hard down the right field line, but foul.
You look at the start to the season that Altuve's had, and you can't just assume because he's done this a third of the way through the season that he's going to do the same thing the next 2/3. But one thing he has proven is he's a 300 hitter. He's hit 340 before, so he's going to hit 300. He's hitting 330 right now. But if he continues to show power and knock in runs, which moving to second instead of first will give him a little bit better chance to do it. And if he steals 40 bases, leads the league in runs scored, and hits 40 or 45 doubles, you're looking at, and plays great defense, which he does, you're looking at a guy that's got a great chance to be the most valuable player. That's what he means to this team. Their best player on a team that should start playing better. They think they'll be a contender in September, and they possibly will be. And if they are, he could definitely be in line for that. based on the first third of the season and based on his track record throughout his career.
They're trying to overcome a terrible start to the season, and lately they have. They've won 11 of their last 13 games and are now just 2 games under 500, 28-30 for the season. They're 7 games out in the AL West. There's A.J. Hinch, skipper in his second year with this club, and you can see since the beginning of May, 21-13, only one team with a better record over that stretch, and that was the Rangers.
Yeah, and I think based on that, that's what everybody expected since the first part of April. That's what they thought you'd be looking at right now. Now they got off to a slow start. They're playing excellent right now. But it's happened before. All I have to do is look at the Rangers season last year. They got off to the same kind of start the Astros did and ended up winning the division.
And Jeff Bannister, last year's the rookie manager and the American League Manager of the Year for that terrific turnaround and postseason berth. Three-run homer by Jose Altuve in this inning. And now 1-1 on Evan Gattis, who walked in the second.
They were talking about the slow start he got off to last year. He really wasn't hitting anything. But then we get to watch him 19 times as the season went on. You saw for a big guy, he's got a quick bat with a short stroke, and he's got huge power. Hit 27 home runs last year for the Astros. And he's hot right now.
Well, he is. I mean, this is the 19th game since being recalled. And in those 19 games, he has 8 home runs. He and Mookie Betts in that stretch with the most in the American League. And there is strike 3 called on Gattis. That's the 4th strikeout tonight for Colby Lewis. And it gives up the 3-run homer to Altuve, and as we head to the bottom of the third, it's a new ball game here at Globe Life Park.
Heading off for the Rangers, the designated hitter,
The next Throwback Thursday pin is a tribute to the Rangers' first American League Championship victory in 2010. Be one of the first 10,000 fans of the park this Thursday to watch the Rangers take on the Astros and pick up this special collectible courtesy of Papa John's. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Here we go, bottom of the third as Rougned Odor takes strike 1 from Fiers. Rangers got their 3 in the first inning. Astros just scored their 3 on Jose Altuve's 3-run shot. That was at the top of this inning. Lindor reached on an error in the first inning, so technically 0 for 1 tonight, and he hammers this one down the right field line into the corner, and that one's gone. A solo shot by Lindor.
Rubnet's saying, yep, I know Altuve's a great player, but don't forget about me. Nice to have Rubnet back. 4 for 9 since he got back in the lineup. And the Rangers are back on top.
Now he's hitting all 3 games since returning, and he's hit for a lot of power lately. And now Prince Fielder, and he's hacking. Bouncer out to Altuve in short right field, 1 away. Take a look again at this home run from O'Rourke.
Got it off the handle just a little bit. So he didn't get all of it, but he got enough of it to hit it about 350 feet, right over the 349 sign. You know, that was just a routine ground ball that Prince hit, but that was a good swing. He got the head of the bat out, hit the ball on the good part of the bat. That was a good swing. He had a base hit and an RBI his first time up, even though that was an out. He got the bat through the zone nicely on that pitch and got out in front of it. So 2 good at bats for Prince, getting a chance to get back in the lineup and play first base today. Boy, the Ranger offense, you get Prince going and get Mitch going again. That offense just all of a sudden looks like one of the best in the league. It is right now, but looks even better.
Well, good time to discuss our TXU Energy power player to watch. How about Ryan Rua? Last 10 games. Yeah, those are good numbers. 5 extra base hits, 6 walks. He has scored 8 times. And he had a line drive out toward the middle of the diamond, taken away by Altuve in the first inning. So 0 for 1 tonight.
And you certainly can't discount the contribution from young homegrown players that you weren't exactly aware of what they might do to help the big league team this year. There's number 1 right there, Nomar Mazara, but also Jurickson Profar, Ryan Rua. Jared Hoying had the big hit in the win yesterday. So the young players from the minor league system who have been homegrown are definitely complementing the everyday stars on the team and contributing to the success in a big way.
Count stays 2-2 on Rua. To think that the Rangers have the best record in the American League. We're past the 1/3 portion of the season. And they've done it with Fielder in a historic slump. Shin-Soo Choo has been injured for the better part of this first third of the season. Bullpen has had some struggles that they have since overcome. I mean, it's amazing. I think it has gotten the attention of the rest of the American League. Mitch Moreland, another guy still kind of waiting to get him started. Gets the day off today.
And Jeff Bannister continues to say exactly what everybody on the team believes. As time goes on, Mitch and Prince will be huge contributors to the offense.
Well, just talking to other teams, guys like Prince Fielder and Mitch Moreland, their presence in the lineup, even though they have not hit well and come nowhere near the expectations that they have for themselves and everybody else has for them, their presence in the lineup is significant. It matters to the opposition. It affects how they pitch everybody else in the order, how they put together their plan of attack. Strike 1 to Elvis Andrus. That said, I mean, at some point they need to begin to contribute in some real tangible ways as well, but there are intangibles to them simply being in the order. So that one just did turn foul. 0-2 to Elvis Andrus. Well, Mike Fiers, 30 years old, came to the Astros last year in that trade deadline deal with the Milwaukee Brewers. mostly known for the acquisition of Carlos Gomez. Fires more or less a throw-in on that deal, and he's been a great contributor. He's 0-2 to Andrews. And that one down to first, where Marwin Gonzalez, in self-defense, takes that one out of the air. But the Rangers get back in front. Rougned Odor. That's number 8 on the year for him. Rangers with a 1-run lead as we move it along to the 4th inning. Luis Valbuena and then Carlos Gomez, Marwin Gonzalez, 6, 7, and 8 for the Astros. Colby Lewis goes right after opposing hitters, and it's 1-1 to Valbuena, who singled in the 2nd inning. Valbuena feeling a little rushed. And that's one of the more endearing things about Colby Lewis is his conviction as a pitcher. I mean, he gets the baseball, he knows what he wants to do with it, comes right after hitters, and I think it's unsettling for a lot of guys. Valbuena trying to slow it down a little with the 1-2. Squares him up. Time for the Kubota power stats. Now, a little better than 15 pitches per inning. And this one lined out to right field, a base hit.
Center fielder Carlos Gomez.
Now, he's efficient. We call that what? Pitching to contact, right? I mean, go ahead, put it in play. Got some defense behind me, and they'll take care of it. Although tonight, he's racked up 4 strikeouts. So man on. And now Gomez. And had an idea there. But it's 0-1.
Gomez obviously has been struggling, batting average below 200. Hit his first home run of the season after a 39-game drought yesterday. But he's got speed, and trying to bunt when you're struggling, taking advantage of your tools.
Bouncer third, Beltre to second for 1. Profar's turn not in time. They get the lead runner. Gomez has great speed though, and had that one beaten really before the throw was ever made to second base. This wasn't hit hard enough down to Beltre.
It's a hard slide into second, and some contact is made. Legal slide. He gets down way in front of the base. Looked like his head may have hit Jurickson's knee as he tried to turn that double play. Nothing wrong with contact at second base. Definitely provided you slide in front of the bag, which he did.
The biggest casualty there might have been his jewelry.
maybe he didn't have an injury. Maybe it was just the jewelry that was hurt.
Gomez on, and here's Marwin Gonzalez. A great baseball instructor, Domingo Ayala, suggested it's important to have that chain and to pop it when you hit the big home runs.
Yep, got to be able to show the bling.
Gonzalez is a switch hitter, batting left-handed, and hits that to straightaway center. Desmond up with it, and maybe caught momentarily. Perhaps didn't think that Gomez would take off for third. I was hoping that Gomez would take off for third because Desmond's been so electric with the arm. I figured we'd have some fireworks over there at the hot corner.
Oh, this is a rope to center field by Gonzalez. Yeah, I think he might have caught Ian by surprise on that play. He just kept right on going. Ian has never shied away from making a throw, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe he was either caught by surprise, maybe he didn't have a good grip on the ball, went to throw it and didn't have a good grip on the ball. It's a possibility as well. But a very aggressive base running move by Carlos Gomez. He's probably just happy to be on base.
He's 90 feet away with the tying run. Gonzalez at first, and now Castro. And Castro hits this one to the gap. Drops in. Gonzalez will score to tie it. Heading to third base is Gonzalez. Jason Castro 2 for 2. And ties it up here in the fourth inning.
Yeah, bottom of the order doing some damage. Valbuena is 2 for 2. Castro's 2 for 2. The Astros take some pretty good swings this inning against Kobe. That's a hanging slider right in the center square. That's not where Kobe intended that pitch to be. Castro took advantage of it.
So some base runners in this fourth inning. Now to the top of the order, where things typically get very difficult when trying to navigate this Astros lineup. George Springer was put into that leadoff spot 13 games ago. And following the conclusion of the Rangers sweeping the Astros down in Houston, and they shook up the lineup. Well, Springer took over there in that leadoff spot, and they haven't looked back. Bouncer short. Andrews to second. One. Profar on to first. Double play.
That's turning it.
Second one of the game, and it bails out Colby Lewis in the fourth. Astros will have to settle for the one run thanks to more sterling defense by your Rangers. All-Star game, and the Rangers need your help to make sure Texas is represented. Send Ian, Adrian, Elvis, Ruben Odor, and the rest of the Rangers to San Diego with your votes. Go to TexasRangers.com/vote and cast your vote up to 35 times. Fans who select the Rangers as their favorite team will receive an offer for 50% off tickets to select games in August. Vote today and vote up to 35 times for your favorite Rangers. Bottom of the fourth inning, all square at 4 tonight. Opening game of this 4-game series. Rangers and Astros. A battle for the silver boot. And Bobby Wilson, to get things started for Texas, takes strike one. Wilson hitless in his last 11 at-bats. A couple of homers, 15 RBIs since rejoining the Rangers. That bouncer to short. Good long throw for Correa. And then they get Wilson for the first out of the inning.
Second baseman, Jerson Profar.
So here comes Profar. Tripled and scored in the first inning. Grounded out in the second. But he has been pretty much unreal since joining the big club. Now a 10-game hitting streak for Profar. He has multiple hits. Yeah, there you go, in his last 5 games.
He's going to have 3 shots to make it 6 games.
Oh, there we go, a high fly, deep right. Springer is back, but he has room.
He just missed it. Fiers was able to get the ball far enough in to where he missed the good part of the bat. Hit it okay, but we've seen him go into the upper deck when he hits it well. And with the trajectory of this ball, if he did hit it on the good part of the bat, it wouldn't have stayed in the ballpark. Just missed it.
So 2 gone. And here's Desmond. He smashes one, but foul. Well, as hot as Profar has been, Ian Desmond has been deadly up there. Hits in 11 of his last 13 games, hitting better than 400 over that stretch. Couple more tonight. A late sign by the Rangers this offseason with the intent of playing him in left field. He has since taken over as the everyday center fielder. All-star shortstop in the National League with the Washington Nationals. And with zero ego, has made the transition to outfielder. He's proven to be an ultimate team guy as well. The 2-1. Took a good cut there. Since taking over the second spot in the order, he's hitting .371. That's an average that has gone up again tonight. Fires 2-2. And that is not an insignificant number of at-bats either. This is his 23rd start in the 2-hole in the order. Fires after some deliberation. And he gets Desmond to pop it up. Gomez there to handle it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Fiers. First one of those for the Astros right-hander tonight. And we'll go to the 5th.
Happy birthday to Ranger fans celebrating birthdays and anniversaries at Globe Life Park tonight.
Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Mazda. And every car we make, you'll see why driving matters. "4-4 game, top of the 5th inning, and Jose Altuve takes strike one.
A big double play that Colby got against George Springer to end the 4th inning before Altuve could get a chance to hit. Men on 1st and 3rd.
And no doubt, you want to see this guy come up with nobody on. The 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. And a multi-hit game for Altuve, and you can make it a 3rd hit as he strokes this one into left field.
Well, you just got to make good pitches to get him out. You can't throw a fastball out over the plate. Colby was trying to throw the fastball in. Then he's trying to throw that breaking ball a little bit more down and away. See the glove from Bobby Wilson. The ball was down a little bit away, not down enough, and even though Altuve lunged at it, he still got the bat on it and hit it pretty hard to left field. That was a definite threat to steal.
Stole a base back in the 1st inning, his league leading 17th.
The Rangers had controlled Altuve decently through the first 6 games. And he's on a mission in this game.
He's led the American League in hits each of the last 2 seasons. This one bounced to short. Great stop by Andrews. And they get the force out at second base.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play by Elvis. Number 1 to catch it and then get it to second base quickly enough to get the speedy Altuve. Nice play. Great play, great throw. Just got him. Altuve jammed his leg a little bit, coming off the field a little bit slowly. You see his right leg goes in hard to the bag and twists as he gets to the bag.
Colby Rasmus now with a man at first, and he hits this ball high and deep and foul.
That's the second time Colby's tried to get the fastball into Rasmus, and Rasmus has launched it both times. Fortunately, just a little bit foul. That one was closer to being fair than his first one.
Hit a ton. Rasmus does have very good power. 27 home runs last year, 8 this season.
If you take the last 70 games that Rasmus has played, going back to last year in the postseason, he hasn't hit for much of an average, 246, but he's hit 18 home runs and knocked in 51 runs. That's about a half a season. So he has provided power, run production, even if he hasn't hit for average.
Well, he went on a tear earlier this season, and not only was he providing power in the run production, but it seemed like most of them were coming in very high leverage spots for the Astros. A lot of game winners. This ball lifted high but foul, first base side. Strike 2.
Well, to give you an idea how much the Astros walk, the Rangers right now don't have a batter who has walked 20 times. The Astros have 6 who have walked at least 24 times. Well, that's a huge part of their offense. Patience and taking walks, which are a lot of extra base runners. And Rasmus is one of them. Rasmus has walked 27 times. They've got 5 players who have walked between 26 and 29 times. And there's the numbers. 221 walks, well ahead of Toronto, who's second. Rangers have walked 147 times.
Fly ball to Rua, and they're 2 away.
The Astros are walking about, oh, I don't know, somewhere around 2 times a game more than the Rangers.
Well, when you look at that list we just saw a moment ago of the top teams in the American League in walks, it's no surprise. Those are all pretty good offenses you're looking at it as well. You pile up those free base runners, and over the course of a season, a couple months, those add up in a big way, and that's part of the thinking. A team like the Astros is Gaddis. It's this one out toward left. Rua with time to get to it, and it ends the inning. No runs, a leadoff single, and a man left for the Astros. We're halfway there, tied at 4.
Rangers looking to break a 4-4 tie as we head to the bottom of the 5th here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. And tomorrow is a Cole Hamels starts, which means Section 9 turns into Hamels Heroes. Everyone who buys a ticket in Section 9 will receive one of these snazzy yellow T-shirts, and also, too, your very own K card. So I've got props tonight, guys. These are very valuable. So go to texasrangers.com/Hamels to get your T-shirt, your K card, and also to be a part of the Hamels Heroes section. So now, channeling my inner Vanna White, turning the letters.
All right.
I know. Beautiful. It's a long shot. It's a long shot, but you never know, right?
No, I'm on board.
Well, thanks for at least letting me give it a try here, guys.
Tell you what, Emily bringing out all kinds of extra talents tonight. A 5-tool reporter.
Emily is what you call a gamer. She's not afraid to go for it and to try something.
Nomar Mazara, the count 0-2. Singleton scored in the first, was hit by a pitch in the second. Well, why couldn't Emily take Vanna White's job? I mean,
she could, easy.
Right? I mean, Vanna's...
I'm betting she's more talented than Vanna White.
Tom, you call it a gamer. I call it a lack of shame and dignity at this point in my life. And a complete abandon for any sort of embarrassment that could possibly come my way.
Well, you can say that, Em, because you're talking about yourself. We would never say or think that. It's total gamer to us.
Well, I'll go with gamer then. I'll go with gamer. I like it better.
1-2 from Fires. That's too tall. Not to go too deep into the Wheel of Fortune thing, but Vanna did used to turn the letters. She doesn't even turn them anymore. She walks over there and points to the screen, and the letter just illuminates.
Is that a concession to age?
There might be. It might be. I hadn't thought about that. It's a game of adjustments, I suppose. Full count on Mazara. Heart of the order in this 5th inning. 3, 4, and 5. Mazzara, Beltre, and Odor. So this would tend to be a big inning.
I'm not a big Wheel of Fortune fan. Just not because I don't like it, just because I don't watch it that much. And certainly do not have anything against Vanna White. But I'm guessing that Emily could step right in to Wheel of Fortune a little bit easier than Vanna could step right into Emily's job next to our dugout.
I don't even think that's debatable.
And I don't know that that's saying much, but I'm going to take it.
No, that's saying a lot.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it.
So you don't have a problem with Vanna? Is it Pat Sajak then? Is that who?
No. I'm sure I would like both of them. It just for some reason the time slot or whatever. I just really haven't zeroed in on that show very much. Had a pretty good opportunity. It's been on for about 50 years. But
Mazzara off the handle. This one into no man's land out there in left center. Second into the night for Nomar Mazzara. And that's how we begin the bottom of the 5th.
Third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Fires up and in, jammed Nomar. Fires really hides the ball well. He brings his glove hand way up in the air, brings the ball way down behind his body, comes straight over the top. Has the kind of a delivery you don't see very often. You can tell by the way the Rangers occasionally will make less than solid contact against him that he is difficult to pick up. In the last couple of years, if you go back to 2014, 2015, he struck out over a batter per inning. Doesn't walk many. I mentioned earlier his strikeouts are down a little bit this year, but he's a guy that over the last couple of years has struck out more than a batter per inning.
1-1 to Beltre. Doesn't have real overpowering stuff. But deception has served him well. 30 years old. Grew up in Florida, makes his offseason home in Pompano Beach.
He's had 2 walks or less in 11 straight starts. He has excellent control. Hasn't walked anybody in this game.
Beltre pops this one up near the center of the diamond. And that is the first out in this bottom of the 5th.
Designated hitter, Odor.
Take a look at our AT&T high-speed replay, and let's rewind it back to the 3rd inning. Odor. Of the year for Rougned, and that one tied the game at 4.
If Springer could have gotten there a little bit quicker, which he couldn't. If he could have, though, he'd have gone up that wall to try to catch that. Rangers have seen him make some spectacular plays out there.
Goes down after this one and pops it up into center field. This time Gomez able to get in and make the play. 2 away. Let me correct myself. That did not tie the game. At the moment, when Odor hit that one, it gave the Rangers the lead. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. Meanwhile, 2 outs here, bottom of the 5th in a tie game. Opening game of a 4-game series. Tom, you pointed it out last time up for Fielder. He grounded out to second, but it was a good swing, good contact.
Yeah.
At this point, those are little small victories that Fielder's looking for. Jeff Bannister is hoping for. Good numbers in his career against the Astros. Maybe Maybe that can get him going.
Yeah, he did make contact, but that was a good swing.
I don't know that many players have ever said, yeah, you know, taking a day or 2 days off is really what I need right now. You know, they all want to keep playing through it, but you do see it work sometimes where guys get that break, just a mental break as much as anything, and then come back swinging it well. And a liner out into right field gets through the shift. Mazzara hustling to third. He'll be in there. Prince Fielder with a 2-hit day.
Much better contact. More out in front of the plate. And it's been that way all 3 at bats.
So Rangers with runners on the corners now for Ryan Rua. Pop up out into center field, and Carlos Gomez will haul it in. That will end the inning. Couple of hits for the Rangers, but nothing of it. And we go to the 6th, all tied at 4.
Dave and Tom, the Fox Sports Fan Express rolled in from the great town of Fort Worth, Texas, on board the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Worth. Yes, indeed, having a good time. And Audrey, talk about you guys going out here tonight and having a nice time here at the ballpark.
Yes, we're having a great time. Thank you, Fox Sports and Rangers, for this great opportunity.
All right, well, you continue to have a nice time here, guys. Good to have you out here. Appreciate it. Dave?
Thanks, Noxie. Always in the middle of it. Bouncer out into right field, and Profar couldn't handle it. Valbuena is aboard. And I trust that will go as an error. It does.
It's just much different fielding a ball way out there as a second baseman, although that was a relatively easy play for Jurickson. Valbuena's been on base all 3 times, had singles his first 2 times up. With the shift, Jurickson's there, the ball just goes off his glove. Otherwise, it would have been an easy out. Second error for the Rangers today. An error in the 3rd inning led to 1 unearned run.
Carlos Gomez. He's been up there swinging tonight. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Bottom of the order, though, for the Astros has been productive tonight. Gomez. A little trouble with the balance after that swing.
I love the way Gonzalez plays. People will call him a hot dog or put some mustard on it, but the guy plays hard and he has fun. He plays with a little bit of a flair.
0-2.
He hustles when he's on the field. He runs to first base. He went first to third on a ball that not many other people would go first to third on. He'll smash into a wall in center field. He just puts a little extra into it sometimes. Well, I don't know how he didn't swing at that pitch. That pitch was a strike without the swing. Could have been a strike without the swing. Let's put it that way.
And they're pretty close. Box track says right there. Valbuena on the 2-2. Ball hit hard center field, but plenty of room out there for Desmond. One out.
First baseman Marlins Gonzalez.
It's like he thought he had a little more than the routine fly ball to center.
Like I say, he plays with a little bit of flair. Sometimes you flip the bat, it goes out of the ballpark. Sometimes it doesn't. I still like it. I lean toward the Bryce Harper statement where he says baseball should be fun, and if you want to express yourself, you ought to have the right to do it. I don't think he's showing anybody up with that little bat flip, except on that one, maybe himself a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's a guy, though, who, for whatever reason, when he was with the Twins, yeah, it just didn't quite go well. And then went to the Brewers, and after a while, they just sort of fell out of love with him as well. And I don't know that it has been all that smooth sailing every day with the Houston Astros. He's aggressive, he's lively, he's all those things you talked about. At times, I think a word that people have used is reckless.
Well, let's put it this way. If he was hitting home runs and hitting 300, they wouldn't have a problem with him. The biggest problem he's had with the Astros is he hasn't produced since he's gotten there.
One out and a man on. Marwin Gonzalez 1 for 2 tonight, singled in the 4th inning. A little bouncer first. Good turn by fielder, but they can't get the out at second. The throw pulled Andrews off the bag.
Second throw to second base on a fairly routine throw that has gone astray for the Rangers. Colby had one earlier in the game on a ball Springer hit. Prince has plenty of time. Throw just sails on him a little bit, and as hard as Elvis tries, he can't quite keep his foot on the bag.
That's the second error of the inning, third of the game. Rangers have given the Astros a number of opportunities in this one.
Yeah, this is when you hope Colby can pitch around it, but that should be 3 outs and back on the bench. Instead, he's got to pitch around Castro, who has 2 hits and an RBI in this game, and then the top of the order.
You can see right there, Brocale dispatched to make that call to the bullpen. It's Jason Castro, who's been a tough out today. 2 for 2. Had an infield hit in the 3rd inning, and then singled home a run in the 4th. Lewis trying to work around a little trouble in this 6th inning. Wow. A couple pitches haven't quite gone his way tonight. Quinn Walcott, the plate umpire. Shift on the infield. Buena didn't get too far off second base, but Wilson wanted to say hello. Colby Lewis, 36 years old. First time in his career he has jumped out to a 5-0 start. And again, a little tight on Castro. Lewis has had all kinds of success against the Astros in his career. But he's in a tough one tonight. And he's just walked him loaded. A walk to the 9th place hitter, and that will get a visit. Tony Barnett, Luke Jackson getting loose out there in the bullpen. Hey, the Boston Red Sox will be facing your Texas Rangers Friday, June 24th. First 20,000 fans to the game get a pair of Major League glasses courtesy of Papa John's. Stick around after the game for baseball movie-themed fireworks show. Find your tickets today, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. Some baseball-themed glasses. Those look like the ones the Wild Thing wore in Major League. All right, Lewis in a bit of trouble here. George Springer, the batter, he bounced into a double play his last time up, which is remarkable in and of itself. He is one of the toughest in the American League to double up. Good speed, very athletic leadoff man. He's hit .390 since taking over that leadoff spot.
Good job of pitching right there. You see a difference in the at bat. That pitch is a strike. Last at bat, Kobe had a couple of pitches that were borderline that didn't go his way. That time a borderline pitch did go his way, but the slider away and then the fastball in is a pretty good combination when you keep them in that location. Another fastball in, jammed him. Springer got on an error in the 3rd inning on a fastball in, almost knocked the bat out of his hand. Just a little dribbler back to the mound. So Kobe is utilizing location pretty well against Springer today. Fastballs in, and this would be either a fastball in again or a slider down where the first pitch was, down and away, hopefully. I think the feeling is if he does throw that same slider, Springer might have a hard time making contact with it.
Fights off another one.
And he reached for it, but that was in the lower part of the strike zone. Maybe 6 inches more outside and down might get the job done.
Buena third. Marwin Gonzalez out there at second base. And you see Castro at first. They're loaded up, 1 out, 6th inning. Springer is prone to strike out 62 times this year, and that is 9th most in the American League. The 0-2. And he wouldn't chase it. Two errors in the inning, and it's created an opportunity for the Astros. Pop up, shallow left field. Andrews out there, way out there, and he'll make the play.
And the ruling was it was out there far enough to where the infield fly was never called. Well, Elvis is very good on pop-ups. Kobe gets a big out. But now the hard part. Now you have Altuve with the bases loaded. but with bases loaded and 1 out, kept Springer from driving in a run. Springer hit into a double play in the 4th inning with men on 1st and 3rd, and then pops up with the bases loaded. Well, Colby trying to get 5 outs this inning. 2 errors have put him in a major jam, but if he can get Altuve, he will have done an incredible job of pitching around those errors. But Altuve's hot, 3 for 3 in the game.
So he's hot, yeah, 3 for 3, but some would argue that statistically, I mean, it's almost a foregone conclusion you'll get him here.
I'd say he's got a 33% chance of getting a hit right here. He's a .330 hitter. But I wouldn't throw him a strike, I know that.
A little tight with ball 1. Altuve singled in the 1st, stole second base, was left there. He hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd, and then singled to start the 5th inning. As Tom mentioned, 5th in the American League with a .330 average. There's a strike. It's 1-1.
You know, Altuve is a different hitter this year. Last year in this situation, you could get him to swing at anything. For the whole season, he walked 33 times last year. This year, a third of the way through the season, he's already walked 29 times. So he's on pace to almost triple his walk total.
Hits this one high in the air, back of second, and Profar waits on it. Colby Lewis gets himself out of a big-time jam. Couple errors, and the bases loaded. But it'll put up another goose egg, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. Jackpot worth $800 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. So if a Ranger hits a home run this inning, Roy Morrison of Cleburne will win $800. Now if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Roy's in for 25 grand. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Good luck, Roy. Bottom of the 6th inning and a 4-4 game. Tag, sometimes it seems like a performance like that by Colby Lewis, or whomever your starter might be, your pitcher in that spot, can be a big lift to the offense, and that, to me, makes this kind of an important half inning.
Well, I think it takes a lot of pressure off of Jurickson, Profar, and Prince, who made the 2 errors. Both of those guys are rooting as hard as they possibly can for Colby to pitch around it. And for him to do that is a huge boost for them and for the defense coming off the field when they see Colby essentially get 5 outs that inning and pitch out of a 1-out bases loaded jam for sure. I agree. It was a great pitching by Colby. And it's not just getting out of it, but it's getting Springer and Altuve, 2 hottest hitters on the team, with the bases loaded.
3-1 now to Elvis Andrus, who has twice lined out tonight. So he's had some pretty good swings, but nothing to show for it. Andrews hitting .293. And he'll walk to open the bottom of the 6th inning.
Again, Fiers doesn't walk many. 2 walks or less in 11 straight starts. First walk of the day, but it comes at a good time for the Rangers as you come back to the top of the order after Bobby Wilson with a fast man on to lead off the inning.
You get a look at Michael Phillies out in the bullpen for the Astros. He has been pretty good lately for Houston. The whole bullpen has been very good.
Well, the Rangers faced Phillies about a month ago when his numbers weren't, they weren't that great. But man, in the last month they've become very great. If he comes in the game, we'll mention what they are.
Well, first, Mike Fiers will be allowed to contend with Bobby Wilson here. Andrews is at first. Has good speed. And then Wilson takes one tight for a ball. 0 for 2 tonight. And he has cooled off a little bit these last couple weeks. Check in on Andrews. 7 steals so far this year for Elvis. Represents an important run out there. 1-0. And that one's tight. Fiers gave up 3 runs in the first, allowed the solo home run to Rougned Odor in the 3rd. It's 2-0, and that one is right in there. Now he has since allowed just 2 hits since that 3rd inning, couple of base hits in the 5th. But an oddity to see Fiers walkabout or anytime it happens, let alone to lead off the inning. Andrews is running, and the 2-1 pitch grounded toward the hole in short. Correa with a backhand and able to get Bobby Wilson, but Andrews advances to scoring position.
The Astros had the second baseman covering as Elvis was running. Bobby got an off-speed pitch and was a little out in front of it and hit it to Correa. Watch, Altuve is going to be sliding over towards second, which means Correa maintains his position and the ball's hit right to him.
That's going to be it for Fiers. So the right-hander is done, and he leaves with a potential go-ahead run in scoring position. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. Ball sponsored by T-Mobile. How about Mad Bum? He'd like to be in the home run derby, and why not? He'd probably be as good as just about anybody. He's mirroring Trout and Harper right now in home run rate. Jose Fernandez has been unreal lately for the Marlins.
I guess so.
Yeah. That's pretty good. 6-0.
63 strikeouts in 41 innings.
So there you go. A couple of the stories, National League stories right now. Top of the order here against Michael Phillies in relief.
Phillies has been dominating. Mentioned he was off to a so-so start, but he's definitely not so-so right now. 6 walks, 38 strikeouts, a 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and a 170 opponent's batting average. This guy has been tough to hit. We saw him come into a game, I believe it was in Houston, and just be dominating.
Profar sends this one out into right field. Springer comes in a step, and that is the second out of the inning.
A second time in a row where Profar's had a good swing, but the ball's just gotten in on him a little bit, and it's been fly balls to right field. The Phillies can definitely get in on you with that fastball, mid-90s fastball.
Two gone, and it's Ian Desmond. Now, Phillies' trademark has been his slider. Truly unhittable lately, but this one is hammered out right field. Springer going back, and he's able to track it down to end the inning. So a long fly ball off the bat of Desmond ends the threat. Rangers lead that go-ahead run in scoring position, and we're off to the 7th. Of the first inning, Prince Fielder with an RBI single that capped the 3-run frame. But Jose Altuve in the 3rd inning with this 3-run shot, his 10th home run of the year, and it put the Astros up. Rougned Odor would answer. Bottom of the 3rd inning, his 8th homer of the year. Gave the Rangers the 1-run lead. The Astros would come back to tie it in the 4th. And that's where we are now. 7th inning, 4-4 game, and Tony Barnett has come on a relief of Colby Lewis. His 24th appearance, a 2.66 ERA. And opponents to a 2.93 batting average against. He's got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Astros in the 7th inning. Correa, Colby Rasmus, and Evan Gattis do. little bit low. And 1-1 to Correa, who tonight hitless in 3 trips. The third place hitter has seen the average settle in around the mid-260s this season. Barnett's 1-1 off the end of the bat. Back of first, long run fielder and foul ground, and he can't quite get there.
Tough play for a first baseman. Prince almost got there, gave it a great shot. That went directly over your head with your back to the plate. Very tough play, especially when you're looking at a cement wall pretty close to you. Almost got there. Good try.
Prince trying to go Willie Mays. Able to get to that ball though. Correa with new life at 1-2. And Heater evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last year's American League Rookie of the Year. Handled the bat real well. Oh man, can he play some shortstop? Leaves off that one to make it a full count.
Gray is another guy that will take his share of walks. He's walked 28 times. That's 10th, tied for 10th in the American League in walks.
Barnett's 3-2, and he will take the walk.
Good example of it right there. Laid off a borderline pitch.
The Astros have the lead man on in the 7th.
They've had the leadoff man on 6 straight innings.
That's playing with fire. Hard to believe only one of them has scored.
Yeah.
No, Colby Rasmus. He was swinging for it all there. Rasmus 0 for 3. He's popped up, struck out, flying out to left field. All that against Colby Lewis, who battled for 6 innings tonight. Lewis went 6. Gave up 4 runs on 8 hits, but only 3 of those runs were earned. The Astros, after a tough start, swept by the Rangers down at Minute Maid Park toward the end of mid-May, and have since turned it around. They have won 11 of their last 13 games, shuffled the deck just a little bit with Springer taking over the leadoff spot. Now Altuve dropping to second. AJ Hinch has his team playing well. Now the one thing Hinch is dealing with now is who's his closer. And that answer has not sufficiently come yet, as this one bounces off of Wilson's glove, and Correa advances to second base. Wild pitch.
It's a significant event as it takes away the potential for a double play. Just got away from Tony.
And Bobby, make sure that they're on the same page with the signs. Everybody knows what's coming.
Yeah, tough to catch that ball if you're looking for something down and in, and a different kind of pitch.
I was talking in the first inning about some of the free 90s that the Rangers had taken, or were granted, as the case may well have been, leading to that 3-run inning. Since the Rangers have awarded a lot of free 90s to the Astros tonight. It's 2-1. Jeff Bannister today before the ball game said that when he was with the Pirates, that's one of the things they kept very close track of, and that they he has continued to keep close track of. He's at 7. You take 7 extras or get 7 extra links on the bases. That is usually the tipping point to a win. And that the team that gets the most free extra bases in a game wins about 80% of them.
Sounds kind of like the equivalent of turnovers in a football game.
Yeah. I think that's a good analogy.
I hear coaches in football say all the time, whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game. And I guess getting an extra base, a free extra base, is kind of like a turnover.
2-2 to Rasmus, and that one is smashed by first, a base hit into right field. Correa from second base will head plateward. He scores the go-ahead run. Astros lead it 5-4.
Hard hit ball by Rasmus. He's hit a couple of balls hard today, but he pulled them both foul, home run distance. And he hit that one just as hard. On a line, fastball tailing toward the middle of the plate. Short, quick stroke. Put that in play with authority.
Evan Gattis now 0 for 2 with a walk. He takes strike 1. Well, there you go. So the Astros have found it pretty easy to win when scoring 4 more runs. 12 consecutive times they've emerged with the victory, and today with 5 runs. They would feel like they're in pretty good shape. But again, I think it will matter how Hinch uses his bullpen from this point and what he feels like he has out there.
I mentioned a little bit earlier that regardless of who the closer is, overall the bullpen has been pretty solid. Since May 1st, they've had the best ERA in the American League. So he's been selecting guys out of the bullpen, and for the most part, they've been coming in and doing a pretty good job. We'll see what order they come in. Right now, the Rangers have to contend with Michael Felice, who's on a great roll. Tough to hit. Leadoff walk proved to be a run maker here in the 7th inning.
Gattis chases, and that is the first out of the inning. Second time he has struck out tonight.
Third baseman Luis Valbuena.
Breaking ball well out of the strike zone, got Gattis to chase.
Big strikeout for Barnett. And now Valbuena, who has reached all 3 times he has come up. A couple of base hits and reached on an error to start the 6th inning.
One guy that got a save the other day, I don't know if he's going to get more opportunities or not, that has been pitching good, is Harris. Harris has got an 0.34 ERA. I think he hasn't been scored on in something like 24 or 25 straight appearances. The guy who's got the most saves, 13, Gregerson, has been struggling. Giles, 5.55 ERA. Late inning guy has been struggling for the season.
Gregerson may be out of that role, and it's not clear that it is necessarily Giles at this point, although I think that was conventional wisdom going into the year, because Giles would be first man up. And Harris may have indeed pitched himself into that spot. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, Harris's numbers are pretty much exactly like Felice's numbers. They've each pitched about 26 innings, given up 15 or 16 hits, haven't walked anybody, and have a lot of strikeouts. And a great opponent's batting averages. Harris is even better than Felice. So if you look at the guys who are throwing the best with late inning stuff, it would be those two guys. Whether or not they flip-flop in the order, time will tell.
2-2 now as Wilson manages to smother that one. I'll take you one step further on the Harris numbers and the consecutive scoreless outings, and overall just the ridiculous numbers for him. His first outing of the year, he put a man on base and had to lead the game. Luke Gregerson came on. Well, he left the game with that man on base. Gregerson gave up a home run. That's the only run that is scored against Harris this year.
And he didn't give it up. Technically, he gave it up. A lot of pitches for Tony so far. 20 pitches.
Yeah, and he has deliberated between each of them. He's working hard with each successive delivery. It's a full count on Valbuena. Runner going, a swing and a miss, throw down to second, and they got him at second base. The strike him out, throw him out, double play ends the inning. Rasmus not happy, and Hinch may want to take a look at it.
He can ask for one, and the umpires will decide whether to give it to him or not. Let's see.
That's right, he's already used his.
7th inning or later, it's tough to tell. Something came off the base. His foot came off the base, but did his hand replace it in time? I don't know.
Walcott.
It's up to the umpires, and they're gonna take a look at it. Generally, late in the game, even if you've used your challenge, the umpires, if it's a close play, will grant you the opportunity after the 7th inning.
Look again. So here's the question, Tag, is do you see enough there to convince you that he didn't get it? Is there anything there that is clear and convincing evidence that he was safe?
It was tough to tell. When the foot came off the base, did the hand replace the foot simultaneously, or was there a little bit of a gap? And if there was a little bit of a gap, was the glove touching with the ball in it, touching the runner? Not sure. Let's take another look. If his foot, if he's being touched, I don't know if there was any daylight or not.
So the call on the field was out. And what's not clear is whether Pat Holberg, the second base umpire, thought he was out on the initial tag, or if, like you say, it was coming off the bag.
I don't think he was out on the initial tag. The initial tag was late. Then when the foot came off the bag, the question is, was there a slight gap between the time the foot came off the bag and his hand touched the bag? If there was, it was very, very negligible. But was it enough to? Yeah, it's tough to tell, but can't argue with the call.
The inning will continue. A strikeout of Valbuena. But Rasmus with his 4th stolen base of the year.
The foot is definitely safe. The left hand comes down and touches the base before the foot comes off the base, so there was never a time when he was off the base.
So a break for Rasmus and the Astros. And now Carlos Gomez, who is 0 for 3. Jeff Bannister now wanting a little more explanation. Paul Emmel's the crew chief and first base umpire, so easy access conversation for Banny. It's a curious process to me, Tag, that the Astros work their challenge early. This play happens, and it is Hinch who comes out and requests that the umpires make the review. It seems like it should be of the umpire's volition to decide to review a play. I mean, it's almost like getting another challenge. Right?
If the manager doesn't say anything, the umpire is going to let it stand. I don't think the umpire is going to. Another umpire is going to say, hey, I'm not sure if you were right on that. I'm going to check your call. Without the call from the manager to check it, the umpires aren't going to do it on their own. But, you know, the rule is you can only have one challenge, but after the 7th inning, it's up to the umpires. And at least from what we've seen, when that's happened, the umpires have granted the extra challenge to the manager.
Yeah, they don't seem to be too hesitant.
No. I think, you know, if you look at it, trying to get everything right, they've been pretty fair. And in that case, that was a big call. They got a man in scoring position instead of being out of the inning.
Well, Barnett needs another to strike out the side, and the crowds Gomez 1 and 2. Luke Jackson getting prepared. The 1-2. That should do it. Andrus on top of it. And it'll end the inning. Astros get the go-ahead run on the Rasmus single, however. They'll stand and stretch at Globe Life Park, 5-4 Houston. All right, Rangers fans, your chance to meet Sam Dyson. It's coming up. Ranger captain will be with him as well, June 8th at Whataburger on Airport Freeway in Euless. Go to texasrangers.com/appearances for more information. Bottom of the 7th inning, a 1-run game. The Astros have taken the lead again. Nomar Mazara, 2 for 2. And he watches one high and away from Michael Feliz. One and 2 the count. Mazara, the American League Rookie of the Month in April, and the American League Rookie of the Month in May. Having a good night tonight. The average well over 300, as you can see. Team high 10 home runs.
Phillies had been mostly a starting pitcher. He had relieved a little bit, but in the minor leagues, for the most part, he was a starting pitcher. Got to Houston for a cup of coffee last year as a reliever. And then they went out and made the big trade for Giles, expecting him to be an 8th or 9th inning guy. Yet right now it's Phillies, homegrown guy, young guy who's throwing the ball as well as anybody, and Will Harris from last year.
Well, for what it's worth, and maybe it's not worth anything, a lot of Phillies' work so far this year has been in what they would term low leverage situations versus the high leverage spots late in games. And still kind of waiting to see what kind of a pitcher he is, if he changes at all in the high leverage spots. He's had one recent opportunity there where, just talking to some Astros personnel, they felt like maybe he was just a tad more tentative. I think this qualifies as a pretty high leverage spot here. Heart of the order, 1-run game, 7th inning. And Mazzara lines one to the gap in right center. 3rd hit of the night for Mazzara. He'll be content with a single. Gomez bobbled it momentarily out there in center field, but Nomar is on to lead off the 7th inning.
It's a high fastball, mid-90s fastball. Nomar serves it into right field for a base hit. Yeah, and I guess any young pitcher in the bullpen is going to start out in a low leverage situation. Very few of them step right into a late inning role. Matt Bush has kind of done that for the Rangers, though. So you have to work your way up, and those are questions you have to answer as the season goes on. Manager keeps showing a little more trust and a little more trust, and eventually it's up to the pitcher to earn that trust.
Well, this one skips away. Mazzara to second base. A wild pitch from Phillies. Well, the Rangers gave some opportunities to the Astros at the top of the 7th. A walk, a wild pitch.
Castro tried to backhand that ball because he felt that was the best way to catch it, but it kicked off of him for an extra base. There's a free 90 for you.
There you go. Tying run in scoring position, and it's 2-0 to Beltran.
Yeah, I think this is, when you look at from an Astros perspective, talking about high leverage, this is about as high leverage as it gets. A lead late in the game against a team that you've had a difficult time beating. 2-0, threw him something other than a fastball and got a strike.
Hard to tell what that pitch was. A good downward break on it.
Looked like a curveball. There it is again. Kind of a straight downward breaking pitch, 81 miles an hour. Slider generally goes a little more from right to left. That goes straight down. And there's been a lot of, especially relievers, who call a pitch one thing and you look at it and say, well, that's not what it looks like to me, but if that's what he calls it. K-Rod had a pitch like that he called a slider. If you just watch the pitch and the way it broke down, you might say it looks more like a curveball. I'm not sure what Felice calls that pitch, but I would say looking at it, it looks more like a curveball than a slider, for sure.
2-2 to Beltran. And a bouncer through the left side, base hit. Mazzara will stop at 3rd. So back-to-back hits in this 7th inning. And a good start for the Rangers.
That was a high chopper, and Mazzara was unable. No way you could tell whether it was going to be caught with a dive. So he had to hold up at second and wait to see what happened, especially with nobody out. You're not going to take any chances. So he holds his ground. Valbuena dives. He can't come up with it. And then Nomar goes to 3rd base.
So 2 men on. And Rougned Odor, who homered in the 3rd inning, to retake the lead. At that point, it made it a 4-3 Rangers advantage. And he golfs this one high in the air. Deep right field. Springer is back. He'll have room. Makes the catch. But Mazzara able to tag at 3rd. He'll score, and we're tied at 5.
Wild pitch comes into play, and Rougned got underneath it a little bit. Otherwise, he had a shot at serving his 2nd home run out there. It's a curveball. He hits it a little bit toward the end of the bat. Hit it well right to the warning track. Definitely well enough to tie this game. Just missed getting all of it for a 3-run homer.
Sac fly makes it a 5-5 game, and now here's Prince Fielder with 2 hits tonight.
If you're thinking that Prince looks a little bit different at the plate, we're going to show you an example of what the fact that he is a little bit different. He's made a little bit of a mechanical change in his approach to the pitcher. You hear batting instructors say you have to get your front foot down in time for your timing to be right. And let's take a look. On the left side is the previous swing. You see his leg come up off the ground, a toe tap, and then lift his leg up. Look to the right and watch his toe. He lifts the back of it up, but the front of his toe never leaves the ground. Therefore, his foot is always on the ground. You don't have to worry about getting it up and down in time. He just keeps it on the ground. And in all 3 at-bats, he's made contact with the ball more out in front than he had been. It seemed like a lot the ball was tying him up, getting in on his hands. And this little mechanical adjustment, at least in 3 at-bats, looks like it is making a difference. That hasn't happened in the first 3 at-bats. It doesn't mean you're going to get a hit every time. You've got a great pitcher on the mound, a pitcher with great stuff, I should say. He's not a great pitcher yet, but a pitcher with great stuff. He's still going to present problems. But you give yourself a better chance when your timing is right. And at least in the short term, it looks like Prince's timing is a little bit better right now.
2-2 from Phillies, and it's a full count.
You know, Prince had mentioned that he's had a hard time pulling the trigger and hitting his pitch, and then another hard time laying off the bad pitches. When your timing is better, you're seeing the ball better, it could very well allow him to lay off some of the pitches that he's been swinging at out of the zone.
Pops his foul.
And keeping the ball away from him. And again, throwing 97 miles an hour. That was a pretty good swing. He was right on that ball.
Two hits tonight. Drove in a run in the first inning. Game just tied moments ago on the Odor sacrifice fly. Beltre at first. Big Michael Feliz delivers. And that is off of Castro. Oh, wait a minute. Is he calling this a foul tip?
I think he swung and missed at it, and then maybe his bat knocked the ball out of the catcher's glove.
Okay.
Let's take a look. He definitely swung and missed at it. Take a look. And there's the bat hitting the glove, and out comes the ball.
So Beltre has to stay at first base, and Castro. Oof.
Again, that's a strikeout, but those were good swings. It wasn't a matter of timing. It was just a matter of Feliz making some good pitches and not being able to make contact. It's a subtle change, but at least through 4 at-bats, it looks pretty good.
1-0 to Ryan Rua. Play him straight up on the infield. That one takes off Walcott's face mask. So boy, hazard pay back behind the plate.
Bang,
Wow.
double mask. Man, like a pinball machine. Not making light of it either, boy, because even with that mask, we've seen catchers and umpires go through the concussion protocol.
Strike 2 to Rua. That was weird. I don't think I've seen that too often.
And it wasn't a glancing blow either. It hit Castro hard, and it hit the umpire hard too.
One-two pitch from Phillies, and it's high.
98 on the Fox tracks, 99 on the scoreboard radar gun.
He's got some juice. 6'4", 231 pounds. That's his third stint with the big club. Been up and down a few times. But very effective in his 2-2. And he gets Rua for the final out of the inning. Rangers get one back. The sac fly by Odor ties us at 5. Going to the 8th inning.
Man of the game, couldn't give it to this guy. He's got his hands full. He's got 3 girls right there, but you got to give it to Cheryl and Kay. Dave and Tom, they're not going to let a couple of broken ankles knock them around. No, they're going to come out to a Ranger game. How'd you break the ankle?
We kicked our husbands to the curb.
Oh, right, okay. Good one there. All right, well, congratulations. Here's the back. Speaking of the husbands, you guys, your life just got a little difficult, didn't you? A lot of bell ringing, huh? Taking care of the wives. Well, good. Glad you got them out here tonight. You guys enjoy the rest of the game. There we go. Yes, go Rangers, Dave.
Is that an empty seat between them?
It sure looks like it. Wow. He finds himself in all kinds of situations. Matt Bush has come on here in the 8th inning, his 12th appearance. A 1.69 ERA. Very good. The 2.56 batting average against. And there's that breaking ball for strike 1 on Marwin Gonzalez.
Pretty good pitch for a guy looking for a fastball to drive on the first pitch. He knows he throws 98 miles an hour, and he was trying to get out in front of that fastball, but instead he swung right over it when it broke below him.
Mitch Moreland has come on to play first base. 8th inning, tie game. And another breaking ball. So 0-2 on Gonzalez, who singled in the 4th, reached on an error in the 6th inning, but also hit into a double play. Tony Barnett, an inning in relief, gave up a run on a hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Battle the bullpens tonight. And there's Luke Gregerson, so we may see their former closer in the 8th inning.
He's not the closer tonight. So by process of elimination, we've eliminated one of them for tonight.
Another breaking ball. That one just about got Gonzalez on the foot. For a moment there, I was concerned it did.
The Rangers trying to keep the leadoff hitter off the base. 6 straight innings. The leadoff hitter has been on base.
Matt Bush, he's pitched twice in the last 7 days. This one fouled off. You know, he started with almost 6 innings of relief, giving up 2 hits. Those were his first 5 appearances. But then it began to look as if the workload was adding up for him. 9 hits, couple of runs over 5 innings over the next 6 games. So they tried to taper that just a touch. And a breaking ball popped up center field. Playable for Desmond, 1 away. Check in again with John Radigan, another Chevy game break. All right, thanks, John. You know, the young third baseman in the game, it sure seems like there's a renaissance of third baseman, whether you're talking American or National League. Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado. The first pitch in there for a strike to Castro. Do you have a favorite?
Manny Machado is my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, you hear and well deserved Bryce Harper, Mike Trout. A lot of people will talk about Carlos Correa, and rightfully so. They're all really good young players. The guy that I think goes slightly underappreciated is Manny Machado. And that guy's a terrific defensive player. Could play shortstop, I think. Was a shortstop when he came up. Guy that is potentially a guy that can hit 40 or 50 doubles, 30 home runs, be a run producer in the middle of the lineup. He's a terrific player in his own right. Now, I'm not going to say I think he's better than Nolan Arenado. We just don't see the National League that much, and most people think that he's the best third baseman in baseball. I'm certainly not going to argue that. But for the ones that we see, I'm pretty fond of Manny Machado as a player.
Well, tough to go wrong.
Yeah. There's no right and wrong when you start talking about great players and who you like the best.
2-2 to Jason Castro, who's had a good night at the plate. A couple of hits and a walk.
Who do you like better, Mickey Mantle or Willie Mays?
Willie Mays.
Okay. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you. Just like if I said Mickey Mantle, you wouldn't argue with me.
Well.
I guess you might, but neither one of us would be right or wrong.
2-2. Good heat on that fastball at 96, but Bush just missed the outer red.
We're talking about the Astros leading the American League in walks. Castro's only a .208 hitter, but he's walked 26 times. He's got a good eye at the plate.
Payoff pitch. And he went. Strikeout for Bush.
Couldn't lay off the 3-2 pitch, though. It was a little bit outside. I think it's harder to lay off a 3-2 pitch than a 1-2 or a 2-2 pitch. You just make the assumption the guy's going to throw you a strike. The ball, borderline pitch, looked like it was tailing away. Might have been slightly outside.
It's a big out. Castro gotten on every time. Really setting the table for Springer and Altuve, and a breaking ball bounced to third. Boy, what a smash. Beltre has it, and the great throw gets him. It's a 1-2-3 for Matt Bush. But how about that play by Adrian Beltre?
Tie game as we head to the bottom of the 8th, 5-all between the Rangers and the Astros. This is the opener of a 4-game set between these two teams. Game 2 will take place tomorrow. Cole Hamels is the answer, and the question is, who is the Rangers starting pitcher tomorrow? In a little Jeopardy reference. Dallas Keuchel goes for the Astros. Cole Hamels for the Rangers. Sorry, guys, I just couldn't resist. We thank the fine folks at AT&T High-Speed Internet for my bad jokes and getting us ready for Game 2 of this series.
You are just feeling so good about yourself right now, Emily.
The hat trick, the game show hat trick for Emily tonight. Love it. Well, bottom of the 8th here, and Luke Gregerson is on in relief for the Astros after blowing consecutive saves. It's his 27th appearance, and Andrews lifts this one high out into right field, but stayed up there long enough for Springer to run underneath it for out number 1.
The only way you can hit it over Springer's head is hit it over the fence. That guy will run down anything. You look out there sometime, you say, man, he's playing way too shallow. It looked like he was playing Elvis very shallow. Look where he is in right field. So it won't take much to get it over his head. And then you watch him run after that ball, and he gets to it easily. He can play some right field, boy. When he plays shallow like that, he'll take a base hit away from you, and you still can't hit it over his head.
Now Bobby Wilson. Well, to your point, defensively, Springer has done a lot. Offensively, he's done enough that among all position players in Major League Baseball, he is currently deemed the most valuable in terms of WAR, wins above replacement.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And that's taken into consideration everything that you can do on a field. Kind of coming into his own this year.
Wilson has a little trouble there with Gregerson. Strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning.
We were talking about Manny Machado playing third base and that he came up as a shortstop. Fortunately, Steve Busby's watching the game and reminded me that with J.J. Hardy, their Gold Glove shortstop, out, he is playing shortstop right now for the Orioles. Thanks for watching, Buzz. Buzz spends most of his time broadcasting for the Rangers, correcting things that I say anyway, so appreciate the fact that on his off day he's doing the same thing right now. Thanks, Buzz.
Here's Profar. And he takes strike one.
I actually knew that Machado was playing shortstop. I just wanted to toss it out there to see if Buzz was watching. And he was, so thanks, Buzz. And I also know that you probably knew that too, Dave, but because we haven't worked together too much, you probably didn't want to correct me on the air. I probably could have been corrected by you just as well. You're just being a little too nice to do it to me.
Tom, my only response to that is, you're right.
See? There you go. There you go. So I would just urge you, whenever I make my fairly common mistakes, speak up. I would rather be corrected than have it out there and have other people thinking, man, no one knows the answer to that.
Profar down swinging as well. Luke Gregerson, for his recent struggles, looks pretty sharp in the 8th inning for the Astros. And off to the 9th we go in a tie game. Come to town June 21st for interleague play against your Texas Rangers. First 15,000 fans to the ballpark will receive a Rangers yearbook. The yearbook includes player profiles and pictures from each Rangers youth baseball career. Pretty cool stuff. Get your ticket for that June 21st game. Log on to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. The little one's asleep. I think it's awesome that babies can sleep through this. Here's Sam Dyson on tie game, 9th inning, his 30th appearance of the season. And he'll get the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Numbers very good for Dyson. As you pointed out earlier, Tag, part of the reason he can pitch in now his 30th game is he's pretty efficient once he gets in there.
Yeah, he's throwing fewer pitches than most guys late in the ball game. Pretty good fastball right there to a guy that's swinging a great bat, looking fastball, trying to ambush him on the first pitch, and got it by him. And there's a little changeup for you at 91 miles an hour. Had to be geared up for the 96-mile-an-hour fastball, maybe a little bit out in front of the 91-mile-an-hour changeup.
And a big day for Altuve. Take a look at our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and this was Altuve back in the 3rd inning, a 3-run homer that tied the game because the Rangers had played at 3 in the top of the 1st. And Altuve gave the Astros a little life. This time he pops up into center field, and Desmond
gets 96-mile-an-hour fastball on the first pitch and has a good swing at it. Sam goes to his 91-mile-an-hour changeup. 3 straight pitches. Missed one, ticked one, and popped one up. So you get a very important first out with Altuve.
Now Carlos Correa. He walked in the 7th inning. Otherwise hitless tonight. Now there's Ken Giles, and a guy who the Astros went after in the offseason. A closer in Philadelphia the last 2 years. Really dynamic numbers with the Phillies. And many people wondered, well, would he just come in and be the closer at the start of the year? But they deferred to Gregerson, who handled that role for them last year. Now that transition may be underway. This ball smashed down to third. Beltre right there to flag it. Boy, he's had a nice game again at third base. 2 away.
Outfielder Colby Rasmus.
Yep, wrong guy to hit it to if you're trying to get on base. And against Sam Dyson, he's not trying to hit it to any one person. He's trying to hit it somewhere. That's where it ended up going. Oh, typical 2 outs on 7 pitches for Sam.
Now needs 1 more out to get it to the bottom of the 9th. Tied. And he starts Rasmus with strike 1. In the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Desmond, Mazzara, and Beltre. 2, 3, and 4 for the Rangers. So that sets up about as well as Jeff Bannister could hope.
Look at that changeup, man. If you're a hitter watching this, you got to say, I'm not exactly sure what my game plan is against this guy. I just hope he throws a high sinker. 0-2 that doesn't sink.
Rasmus, for the 3rd time tonight, sends one deep but foul down that right field line. Nice play, you. Now Dyson, since taking over that closer role, numbers are pretty good. It's 0-2 to Rasmus. Shift on the infield for the left-handed slugger. Dyson's 1-2. And Rasmus fights it off again. Rasmus last year with really a big year, kind of a breakthrough season for him with the Astros. It's 2-2. 25 home runs last season. In a lot of ways became kind of the heart and soul of that scrappy Astros team. The 2-2 from Dyson, and he got him swinging. Bottom of the 9th coming. Ian Desmond to lead it off.
two hottest teams in the American League at the start of play. Perhaps it's not surprising that they're tied at 5 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. No matter the outcome, it will be dramatic and it will be fun. On the post-game edition of Rangers Live, John Radigan here with Mark McLemore and Pudge Rodriguez standing by too. We'll get you all the post-game reaction. We'll hear from the principals, Jeff Bannister, and all the players. We'll check in with Buzz and Tom. Emily, a big part of the show too. It's all coming up right after the game and the dramatic conclusion. It's Rangers Live, guys.
All right, thanks. Yeah,
there they are.
Prepping. I love it.
Yeah, they're ready.
That's how you do it.
Pudge is running for office.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 9th. And hard-throwing Ken Giles on for the 28th time this year. Numbers don't wow you with that .555 ERA. Against Desmond swinging at strike 1. Giles, a couple of rough ones to start his tenure with the Astros, but has since settled down.
Well, I guess one thing this will tell you is that Will Harris, at least right now, is the closer. Seen Gregerson, now Giles, but not Harris. Either that, or maybe Gregerson's the closer, just pitching in a tie game.
Yeah. They appeal it, and Desmond went, according to Paul Emmel down at first base. Yep. Strikeout starts tonight.
Nomar's had 3 hits, scored a couple of runs, been on base 4 times. He was also hit by a pitch. He started the rally in the 7th inning with a base hit, scored the tying run on Rugned's sac fly.
Giles with a lot of off speed in this 9th inning. For a guy who has that 98 plus in his arsenal, you tend to expect it. That one lifted into left field, base hit. Mazzara is on.
Well, if you need to know anything about Nomar Mazzara, there it is right there. He takes a curveball for a strike and then lines a 98-mile-an-hour fastball over shortstop for his 4th hit of the game. I'm sure Giles and Castro felt after a curveball that a 98-mile-an-hour fastball would be a pretty good pitch. There's the curveball for a strike. And there's 98 miles an hour for a line drive base hit.
First career 4-hit game for Nomar Mazzara. And he's the winning run out there. Strike 1 to Beltran. You pointed out earlier, yesterday the Rangers with a 1-run victory. It was their 10th of the year, most in the American League, along with the Indians and the White Sox. They're looking for number 11 tonight. 10-4 in 1-run games.
The Astros have had more extra inning games than any team in the American League. They've had 9, and they're 6-3 in extra inning games.
Well, the preponderance of the Rangers offense tonight came early. A 1-1 though to Beltran, and he fouls it off his foot. Giles was a prized catch this offseason. Astros dealt the Phillies 5 pitchers, including their first-round pick, Mark Appel. Beltran bounces that one to short, bobbled. They'll get the out at second, but not at first. Beltre beats it out.
The slight bobble right there gives Rougned a chance to hit with Adrian at first base.
Well, that may prove to be huge. Odor has homered tonight. And went pretty deep in the 7th inning with his sac fly to right field to tie the game. He's 22 years old. Pitch to him. And here's the heat. Now flash it back to the 3rd inning. Got in on him a little bit, and he got it out. Eighth of the year for Rougned. This one hit the other way, hit well. Back goes Rasmus to the wall, and that one bounces past him. Beltre around 3rd. He's headed to the plate, and the Rangers walk it off. 6-5 over the Astros, and they take game 1 of this 4-game series.
Dave, you said on the little bobble by Correa, that might be costly. Little did you know that Rougned, the next hitter, would hit one off the wall and score Adrian, who got to first base because of that slight bobble and the Astros' inability to turn that double play.
Boy, all night these two teams were back and forth, giving each other extra opportunities. Well, they cashed in here and there. But that last little break, that bobble at short, proves very costly for the Astros as the Rangers make it 11 straight over the Astros here at Globe Life Park. And 7 straight this year overall. Let's head down to the field with Emily Jones.
Rougned Odor, you've already gotten one ice bath. I'm not sure another one's coming, but let's go ahead and knock this out. Walk me through that last at bat.
I mean, I know he threw hard. He got pretty good fastball. And I was looking for that pitch. He threw me that pitch, and I just tried to run in.
You got all of one, and then you almost got all of another one. What were you feeling like at the plate here tonight, and how big was this game for you guys?
I mean, I feel pretty good right now in the play. I mean, we just trying to win every day, man. And that's what we do.
For this team, the way you all are playing together right now as a group, what is it like to go out there every day and play?
I mean, it's great to play with this team. We are like a family. We play together all the time, and that's how we are.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Up top, Rougned Odor. No whammies tonight for the Rangers, you guys. Send it back up to you.
Emily's in a zone. What a ball game tonight. 6-5 Rangers over the Astros. Rougned Odor with this shot out into left field. Colby Rasmus overplayed it. Rangers have taken all 7 from the Astros this season. We'll be back with more in a moment.